Interviewed Jamie Sapper, and he's running the legendary Preston Music International. We've got him here, and he's going to talk about a few things and where he started, and a lot about his business and everything like that. And
the Preston Music label was born, in fact, probably from this Preston Studios. It's a bit of a play on that name, I guess. Preston Recording Service is run here by Graham Thomas, and well, it started way back probably in. I mean, Graham's been at the studios for a long time, but back in '98, I took a trip over to Europe and America, and met a lot of people. Saw so much great music. Went to a lot of festivals and saw a lot of original artists, lots of current bands as well.
There were some of those guys.
And I love those bands. Look, there was all these bands that I'd probably heard and listened to for ages. People like Big Sandy and Deke Dickerson out of America. These sort of bands. Then lots of bands out of Europe, like say Rimshots and Wildfire Willie. Many bands, so many bands. Then at that time there was such a boom in the European scene. It was amazing that there was a lot of people putting out vinyl records and stuff like that. There was a big explosion in that scene, and it was just such a overwhelming thing for me to see all that. I was just in heaven basically. And then while I was there at the same time, people were asking me what's happening, what's going on in Australia, and I said, well, Australia's great. There's lots of great music, and because I truly believe that before I left, and even seeing the bands that I saw over in Europe and America, I believe that our bands were as good as theirs and some better, and vice versa, So when I got back, well, while I was there, I met a lot of people too, and I met a good friend of mine, Bernie, who's from Germany, and we had these discussions. I'm not sure whether it was there or when I got back, that maybe we should start doing some stuff with the Australian bands and getting maybe get a record label going and doing these sort of things. I had been involved with some DJing and radio and stuff a little bit before I left. Then
was that the same style of music, that sort of thing?
Yeah, it was definitely. It was all that 50s.
That music,
yeah, it was the 50s stuff, the rockabilly and R&B and blues and those types of music and rock and roll. Yeah, so when I got back, I had a few friends in bands who said, one mate from the Flatfoot Shakers, Kieran, said, I want you to manage a band, and he'd lived in England for a while, and he said, manage a band, get us over there, and I said, well, that'd be great, So we did some stuff with them, and I got back and I said, well, I've got to get in touch with Graham Thomas from Preston Studios.
Have you met him before, or it was just a...
no, I didn't actually know him personally, but I knew his brother, so I got back and got in touch with his brother Peter, and we knew each other a little bit, and he, give Graham a ring and see what he's doing, and at that time Graham did a lot of stuff back, I guess, in the 80s and that. Well, Graham's band, Graham had a number of bands. He played with Priscilla's Nightmare, that was probably a little later on, and he played with early version, well, Straight Eights, a number of bands, I guess. He'd be the expert on that, but I know that he's a great bass player and renowned for the studio. The studio was, just extremely well known, because people even in Europe asked me, we got this recording from Australia with Australian music, and I'm in Melbourne and Preston studios. So we tracked him down, and Graham's still at the studio. He was doing bits and pieces. He wasn't doing a lot of stuff. I mean, he was working and stuff.